didn't realize I would be seeing that much of Barry Keoghan, but okay. Saltburn is a really simple movie in plot. You have Barry Keoghan's Oliver, who grows obsessed with Jacob Elordi's Felix, and eventually they become friends, and because of Oliver's troubled home life, Felix invites him over to his house for the summer, but his house is massive and they are very, very wealthy, and they just live a sort of lavish lifestyle that is really odd, and Oliver sort of adjusts to that. That's essentially what this movie is about, and I found it really entertaining. For me, a lot of the charm of this movie comes from great performances across the board. Everyone in this movie is fantastic. I didn't see a single performance here that I felt was weak. I think everyone did their job flawlessly. And then just the cinematography, the way this film looks. It's a wonderful looking film. I don't know if I agree with the aspect ratio. I don't really get why they chose to make it a smaller aspect ratio rather than just the normal full widescreen type of aspect ratio. Maybe the one time where I kind of noticed it, or I guess the types of scenes where I noticed it, were when you had two actors really close together and it felt very intimate, and I was like, there, in those particular scenes, I don't know how much better a widescreen aspect ratio would make it. Actually, I think a widescreen aspect ratio would have made it just kind of worse, because the smaller aspect ratio just makes them seem closer and makes it feel, like I just said, more intimate. But aside from those scenes, and the majority of the scenes in this movie are not those types of scenes, they are big, wide shots showing the mansion or showing Oxford. You know, those are also in this smaller aspect ratio. Don't you want those grand shots to be as wide as possible to make them look as grand as possible? I don't know, that's like the biggest just negative with this film I have. It also does some really weird stuff, and to me that was like, okay, you know, it felt like weird stuff for the sake of weird stuff. I didn't necessarily have a problem with it, but I'm not walking out of this film going like, oh my god. Spoiler alert, just by the way, the scene where Barry Keoghan is licking cum out of a bathtub was phenomenal. Never seen that kind of filmmaking in my life before. Best thing I've ever seen. No, that is not how I feel in regards to this film, but I also wasn't coming out of it feeling completely revolted. It felt realistic to this type of story that this film was, but I'm also just not gonna really praise it for scenes like that and the other incredibly weird things that happen in this movie. So at the end of the day, I had a pretty fun time with this film, so I'm giving it 3.5 stars. But if you've already seen it, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I want to know whether or not you like this movie, because it is kind of weird and wacky and quirky, so like, did you like that weirdness, or did you feel like it was out of place? Let me know your thoughts down there, and while you are down there, please feel free to like and subscribe. This is a very small channel that I am very passionate about, and I could use all the support I could get. Thank you so much for tuning into this review, and I will see you all on the next one. Take care.